Welcome to another episode of Brother Bee's Bees. We haven't been on in a while, but have had a wild adventure today, and it's not over. Come join me as we try to get some bees out of a house on the lake. There's a widow lady there. Tens of thousands of bees, no telling how long they've been in that house. Come join me as we try to get them out. I've never done this before. It is uncharted territory. So you can watch Chris and I as we do our best and to make some mistakes. Maybe if nothing else, you'll enjoy laughing at us. But we did get the colony out of the house. All right, so they're up under that threshold. Come back with a ladder and figure out.
Yep, there comes two more.
Yeah. Right in there. You see them right over there. So they're coming in over there about where that tape is. Coming up into that light. The bees are going in that corner up there. Right where that deck joins the wall, just to the left of the base of the back door of this house. And the bees are in the ceiling of this lower level, or in the floor of that upper level. You can see we've gotten into the cavity where they are. So basically what we're doing is trying to cut a hole big enough right now where we can see where they are. We've got a box ready, some empty frames that we can rubber band the comb into, but right now we gotta get where we can see what's going on up in here. Now I'm looking at the ladder. Still not to the back.
I mean, that thing could go all the way to the edge.
Okay, I'm going to this side of the wire here. I can't feel where the electrical wire is on that other side. I really need to go back here because it's easier to get them out from back there. Now this down here, it's all the way down.
The comb is?
It's all the way down to the roof, I mean the drywall.
And you scored. Just score it.
Yeah.
However far you want to go, and then I don't even think you have to saw it. I think you could actually break it, and it wouldn't shred it.
Okay. Don't let that fall on you. So
I was just thinking if you took it,
score it with my
even
knife.
scored it all the way to the wall, maybe. As far as you can reach, I should say.
Just because I'm short.
I'm not saying that because you're short.
I don't know.
Yep. That looks good.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 comb. Shots as we go. Trying to tell if we're getting near the back. Can you tell?
Yeah, it's going.
I hear them. Sure don't see her. She must have fallen off. Yeah, I saw her. She was easy to see once you wanted me to her. But she's not on here anymore. Can't see her now, but the queen just went right down in there. Actually, I can see the tail end. Right there's her behind. So the queen is in there. She's in that corner. Notice there were several bees wadded in this corner. Figured she was in there because they were calm and staying close. We've gotten all of the frames out of the house and most of the bees. We still got a little work to do. There's a few still at the entrance. We'll vacuum again tomorrow and plug it up. I'm going to leave the box till about an hour after dark. The queen is in that box, so I'm going to leave it there and let whatever bees want to come back to her. And then tonight after dark, I'll move that box and I'll move these honey frames all to my house and work a little more next few days helping her clean up some in here, and then also just trying to get this hive organized. I think it's going to need a second box, but anyway, that's just what we'll work on the next few days. All right, we've got the bees loaded up. Take them to the house. We have the queen and the main run of the colony moved onto our property. So we'll see how they do. I'm going to try to open this. Let them find their way back to the colony. I put some brush, just some sticks there at the entrance. That is supposed to help them to reorient it as they come out. They crawl over that, and it's supposed to help them or force them to reset their GPSs. Something I had seen or watching a video or read somewhere down the line, and so that's what I do every time I put bees in a new box or in a new location. And it seems to work. Queen's in that box, so they should head in there, and I'll add a second box to it. It should be ready to roll. These are the bees that we vacuumed up. I think we have the entrance filled. See any more live bees now? I'm sure there's stragglers here and there. I'll come back, probably check tomorrow. Just heard one. She's got to have a few stragglers around, but I think we've got the entrance clogged, gotten the bulk of them out. One thing that made it a challenge is normally, there's one right there. Normally you don't put pipes and wiring down on the lower ceiling in a two-level like this. Normally you would put it up against that flooring, which made it really a challenge when we were trying to cut through all that. Like they're settling in. I still need to clean up some frames inside of there, but gotten them out of her house and giving them a chance. Using empty frames and rubber bands, but it's hatching out. frame is a mixture of uncapped honey and brood. I had to put this little piece in sideways. That's not normally what you'd want to do. Like honey cells, they do it a 13-degree upward angle so they do not leak or run out. And I was able to do that over here. This one doesn't really have tons of honey in it. It does have some. I'm mostly trying to save that brood on either side. Got a mess of honey up there, but they'll clean it up. All right, we got 10 frames in there. I took what I could of the comb, put it inside the hive. So she's got quite a bit of brood and food. So I don't know, I guess 6.5 frames of maybe 6.5 frames of brood and 3.5 of food. A lot of it scattered. I'll add another box when it comes in Friday. There's one bee trying to find its way in. Just watching to see if she manages to get in. I'm not seeing bees, but I could have sworn I heard a buzz. You can see on this end down here closer to the entrance, hive moths had gotten in. It's ironic, I see some honey here on her counter. I asked her if she would like some of the honey from those bees or all of it, and she said, no, I can go buy my own honey. I think she'd had all the honeybees she could stand. Okay, we're wrapping things up. I've done some cleanup, done some vacuuming up in there as best I can. I wanted to mention that this Dawn spray has worked well in cleaning up honey that dripped down. I would encourage you to do a little more research on it and what impact it has on certain paints and so forth, but I found it pretty helpful here getting some of that honey up that had dripped on various pieces of furniture and on framework and so forth. But I'm not seeing any bees here, and we've got the hole plugged, so hopefully we've taken care of her problem. So I hope you've enjoyed Chris and I in our first cutout, and we learned a lot, but most importantly, we saved a bunch of bees and we got them out of her home, so they're not a threat to her, but also they can keep right on rocking as a hive. And so I'm grateful, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Brother Bees Bees. Okay, I've got a box here to add. It's got plastic inserts that are wax coated. I'm not a big fan of those, but it's what I could get quickly. I did put one frame of wax foundation. I found my bees comb it out much faster than the plastic ones that are wax coated, so I put one of those in the middle to help them get started. And so I'm just going to set this on there quickly this morning so that they have room to grow. Notice that they have cleaned up the honey. When I last videoed in here 2 days ago, you had a lot of honey on top because I had been piecing together the pieces of honeycomb and putting them in those frames. All of those frames are full, but they've been cleaning it up, so I'm going to put this box on. They're ready to roll. They've got a full bottom box and have an upper box they can grow into. All I'm doing is a quick look to see if I can see the queen. Several of these frames have both pollen or nectar and brood. Yeah, they're already doing a great job of weaving all of these pieces of honeycomb together. These first 5 I put in here 4 days ago. The other 5 I put together Thursday. So like this originally had 3 pieces of honeycomb. You've done a good job. Really worked hard. I'll probably call this the Cutout colony. This frame has bee bread. We tried to save as much as we could of the food and brood that they already had when we pulled them out of the house. What's interesting about this one is they've already chewed through one of the rubber bands. And it's attached enough that they don't need the rubber bands anymore. Again, I put the rubber bands on and put those in there 4 days ago. I want you to notice this one because I just put this frame together. In other words, put the comb in here 2 days ago, and they have already completely attached it to the frame across the top. Man, they're a working colony. This is the second frame from the outside. It has a pretty good bit of honey on this end anyway, and it's a pretty thick piece of honeycomb. Okay, I did not see the queen. And she's a big queen, so I should have seen her. Now they have, she was in there when I put the lid on the box, and they have acted like a hive that had a queen. But she is also, even though she's big and should be easy to see, she's somewhat bashful. You've got to remember that hive had been up in that ceiling for a long time. There was just almost no light coming in that hive. So she is not a fan of sunlight. So I'm going to assume she's in there. Leaving town, I'll come back and check on them in about 5 days. We're going to check in on the Cutout colony today and see how they're doing. They are bringing in nectar. That's good. Okay, I found the queen. I couldn't find her the other day. Of course, I was looking without my glasses. But there is the queen. She's a nice big queen. So we do still have the queen. Right there close to that blue rubber band. They've been cutting loose a lot of these rubber bands. Trying to look down in there and see if I see if she's laying. One thing I will probably do with them is give them some extra food. There she is. Great news. They seem to be doing well. We are a little over a week, let's see, 9 days from when I pulled them out of the ceiling. This is the cutout colony, but what I wanted to show you is the rubber band piece on the front. So we used rubber bands to hold some of the comb that they had combed out in place in the frames. And so what they'll do, there's another piece right there. There we go. So what they'll do is, as they no longer need them, they will cut the rubber bands and often will drag them out on the front porch for me. So they are very, very unique creatures. I hope you have enjoyed our adventure as Chris and I were able to complete our first cutout, and we got the bees out of the house and we've got them in a hive, and we're able to save most of the bees and the brood. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Brother Bees Bees.